Thank you so much for joining me. Today I'm going to give you a gift, the result of many years of my hard work and research. Just listen closely so you don't miss a single thing. The idea that inner belief triggers hidden potential is one of the most powerful truths about human existence. Yet it is also one of the most underrated. When we speak about success, greatness, or leaving a mark on the world, people often focus on external factors such as resources, connections, opportunities, or luck. But history and psychology both show that none of these matter unless the seed of self-belief is planted inside the individual. Without belief in oneself, even the most talented person with countless opportunities may never rise. With belief in oneself, even someone with no resources can rewrite destiny. Inner belief is not just a state of mind. It is the ignition point for hidden abilities that people themselves are often unaware of until they are tested. Scientists study the mechanics of the human brain, the psychology of confidence, and the chemistry of motivation. But what they rarely emphasize is that belief is the spark that activates these systems. It is belief that turns dormant potential into unstoppable action. Consider the lives of people who changed the course of history. They were not born with certainty, wealth, or privilege. Many of them faced rejection, humiliation, and doubt. Yet the one common thread is that they refused to surrender to those doubts. They believed in themselves when no one else did, and that belief allowed them to persist when everything seemed against them. Think of Thomas Edison, who failed thousands of times before creating the light bulb, or Colonel Sanders, who was rejected hundreds of times before someone accepted his fried chicken recipe. These individuals did not suddenly acquire new skills after their failures. Rather, it was their unshakable belief that kept them moving forward, and that persistence unlocked the potential that was hidden all along. What others saw as failure, they saw as a step closer to success, simply because their inner belief transformed their perception. Belief is also what shapes perception of the world. When someone lacks self-belief, the world feels hostile. Opportunities look impossible, and every challenge appears too big. The same person with belief in themselves suddenly sees possibility in the same circumstances. The environment does not change, but the individual's interpretation of reality does. That is why belief is so powerful. It does not erase challenges, but it rewrites how we interpret them. And that shift in interpretation brings forth hidden strengths. Scientists may frame this as the placebo effect or the psychology of resilience. But what truly matters is that self-belief is the fuel for unlocking capabilities that otherwise remain buried under fear. The human brain is wired to protect us from risk and failure. Fear is natural, and it often paralyzes people from acting on their dreams. Inner belief works like a counterforce to fear. It allows individuals to override the brain's tendency to avoid challenges, pushing them into action despite uncertainty. This is why athletes often say that confidence is more important than physical strength during competition. The body may be trained, but without belief, the body hesitates. With belief, the body performs beyond what training alone can achieve. Hidden reserves of stamina, creativity, and resilience surface because the mind dares to believe it can handle more. This hidden potential is always there, but it is unlocked only by the courage of belief. Self-belief also impacts the way others perceive us. A person who believes in themselves carries an energy that others feel. Confidence attracts trust, support, and opportunities, while doubt repels them. When someone stands firm in their own value, people are drawn to follow, invest, and believe in them as well. This is why leaders are rarely the smartest or most skilled in a group, but they are the ones who project unshakable belief in their vision. That energy of belief inspires others to rally behind them, and in turn, it magnifies their own potential because the collective support amplifies individual effort. What began as one person's belief turns into a force that reshapes communities, nations, or even the world. Another powerful aspect of belief is its ability to reframe failure. For most people, failure is the end. For someone with belief, failure is feedback. When you believe in yourself, every setback becomes a teacher, not a barrier. This mindset is what allows innovators, artists, and dreamers to keep creating when everyone else has stopped. Failure reveals skills, resilience, and creativity that would never have been discovered without struggle. The hidden potential does not appear in comfort zones. It appears in the storm. And belief is what allows a person to walk into the storm instead of hiding from it. That is why people who truly believe in themselves often seem fearless. They are not immune to fear, but their belief allows them to push through fear until fear itself becomes smaller. From a scientific perspective, belief activates the subconscious mind in ways that amplify performance. Studies on visualization, positive self-talk, and confidence show measurable changes in performance and behavior. Yet the deeper truth is that belief changes not just outcomes, but identities. When someone says, "I believe I can," it eventually becomes, "I am the kind of person who can." Identity is the strongest driver of behavior. And once belief reshapes identity, potential becomes limitless. A person no longer acts out of obligation or temporary motivation, but out of alignment with who they believe themselves to be. This is why self-belief is not just a tool for success, it is the foundation of transformation. We often underestimate how much potential lies inside each individual. People think they are limited by their background, their education, their financial situation, or their social environment. Yet countless examples prove that these limits are only as strong as the belief we attach to them. Inner belief allows us to see beyond current circumstances and act as if something greater is possible. That action, in turn, unlocks hidden pathways, hidden talents, and hidden strengths that remain invisible to those who never try. The truth is, potential is not revealed by waiting. It is revealed by moving forward with belief, even when the outcome is uncertain. Inspiration is contagious, and belief spreads in ways far beyond what can be measured by charts, data, or scientific studies. When one person dares to believe in themselves, it creates a ripple effect that extends into the lives of countless others. Scientists acknowledge social influence, the way behavior can inspire behavior, and how energy can transfer from one human to another. But what they often leave unspoken is the raw, almost invisible power of belief itself. Belief is not simply an idea kept inside the mind. It is a force that radiates outward. It shows in the eyes, the tone of voice, the actions, and the choices a person makes. When someone carries genuine self-belief, others feel it without a word being spoken. They sense confidence, courage, and determination, and it plants a seed of possibility in them. This is why true leaders and change makers often begin not by giving others resources, but by showing them what it looks like to believe without fear. Think about the great figures in history who inspired movements, revolutions, or entire generations. Many of them did not begin with power, money, or recognition. They began as one voice, one individual daring to believe in something bigger than themselves. Their belief spread, and suddenly others found courage they did not know they had. A single person standing tall with conviction has the ability to ignite 1,000 hearts. When people saw Martin Luther King Jr. speak about his dream, it was not only the words that moved them. It was the fire of belief in his heart that made others feel their own dreams were possible. When people watched Nelson Mandela walk out of prison unbroken, it was not only his freedom they celebrated, but the belief he carried that even decades of suffering could not erase. This kind of belief cannot be taught in textbooks or measured in laboratories, but it spreads faster than technology and leaves a deeper impact than logic. Belief is contagious because it resonates with something deeply human. Every person has within them a silent longing to break free, to achieve, to rise, and to be more than what they are today. But fear, doubt, and limitation suppress that longing. When one individual demonstrates pure belief, it acts like a mirror for others. It shows them that it is possible. The thought arises, if he can do it, Maybe I can too. This transfer of belief is not always loud or dramatic. Sometimes it happens quietly, with a gesture, a story, or simply by observing someone live authentically. Inspiration rarely demands attention. It flows naturally from a person who is rooted in conviction. Belief spreads in families and communities and across nations. A child who watches a parent refuse to give up learns resilience without being directly taught. A community that sees one of their own rise against all odds starts to believe that they too are capable of more. Generations are lifted when a single figure dares to live with unwavering confidence. Scientists may describe this as social learning or the psychology of influence, but these terms fail to capture the emotional electricity of the moment when someone's courage unlocks courage in another. It is not simply behavior copying behavior. It is spirit awakening spirit. The fire of one person lights the candle of another, and soon the darkness is pushed back by a spreading flame. One of the greatest demonstrations of belief's contagious nature can be seen in sports. When an underdog team begins to believe they can win, that energy spreads through the entire squad. It shifts the momentum of the game. The crowd feels it, the opposing team feels it, and suddenly what seemed impossible becomes possible. This principle applies to every field of life. In classrooms, workplaces, and social movements, the moment belief takes hold, the atmosphere changes. A collective spirit emerges because one individual dared to go first. Scientists study motivation in terms of dopamine and neural pathways. But what they do not fully capture is the magic of shared human belief. When people believe together, their potential multiplies beyond what any individual could have achieved alone. Another important aspect of this contagion is that belief carries emotional weight, and emotions spread faster than logic. Fear spreads, doubt spreads, but so does confidence and hope. The human heart is wired to respond to emotion, and belief is one of the purest emotional signals. When you meet someone who believes in their mission so deeply that nothing can shake them, you feel it in your bone. You may not even fully understand their vision, but their certainty makes you want to trust, support, and even follow. That is the essence of leadership. Not simply guiding others, but inspiring them to believe through the force of your own conviction. True leaders do not just give instructions, they share belief, and that shared belief becomes the fuel that moves mountains. Belief also spreads through storytelling. Stories of perseverance, struggle, and triumph resonate with people across cultures and time. When you hear of someone who overcame unimaginable odds through belief, something stirs inside you. It reminds you that limits are not fixed, that the walls you see around you are not permanent. Stories allow belief to travel across generations, inspiring people who may never even meet the original source of inspiration. Scientists study the psychological effects of narrative and how it shapes behavior, but what they do not always emphasize is that stories are vessels of belief. They carry the essence of human conviction across time and space, allowing one person's belief to live on long after they are gone. At its core, belief is energy, and energy cannot be contained. Once released, it moves, it spreads, and it transforms. A single act of courage, a single demonstration of resilience, a single refusal to surrender can become the catalyst for change in countless lives. This is why belief is not only personal, it is universal. When you choose to believe in yourself, you are not only unlocking your own potential, you are unlocking the possibility for others to rise through your example. The world is shaped not by those who simply exist, but by those who believe so strongly that others cannot help but feel it too. That is why inspiration is contagious. And that is why belief, once ignited, becomes a force greater than any obstacle. At the heart of every achievement, every revolution, and every transformation lies a single truth: belief. When you choose to believe in yourself, you awaken the hidden potential that even you never knew existed. And when you carry that belief with conviction, it spreads like fire, inspiring others to see what is possible in their own lives. This is how one person changes not just their destiny, but the destiny of the world. So believe in yourself, stand tall in your uniqueness, and never doubt the power of your own story. The world is waiting for the spark only you can bring. I wish you nothing but strength, courage, and success on your journey. Thank you for listening, and good luck as you step forward to inspire the world.